Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton, and I just finished the anime Eromanga-Sensei. Now, when it comes to an anime like this, I think it's fair to point out that there are several trashy shows that I've watched and enjoyed over the past few years. For example, Umoro-chan is a trashy show. High School of the Dead is a trashy show. Even High School DxD and Keijo. I mean, Keijo is one of my favorite fan service anime of all time, but even I'll admit, it's a trashy show. Eromanga-Sensei is easily the trashiest, most lewd, and most inappropriate for anyone to see watching anime that I've seen in years. And honestly, that's a big strength as well as a big weakness. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about a light novel author named Masamune Izumi, who has a talent with writing light novels incredibly quickly. And he figures out in the first episode that his sister Sagiri is actually the famous light novel author Eromanga-Sensei, though she's his little sister who's not blood related. For some reason, they love to point that out. And what follows is a bunch of antics involving a bunch of other young girls who vie for Masamune's attention, as well as a boatload of lewdness from Sagiri. Now, this anime does not hold back when it comes to its content. I mean, there's sexualized shots of girls as young as the age of 12, 12 being Sagiri's age. There's a girl who talks about a certain piece of the male anatomy, about how much she loves that piece of the male anatomy, as early as episode 2, and there's loads upon loads of the shots of the girls in bikinis. So if you are not a fan of fan service when it comes to girls who are not even close to the age of 18, then I recommend you get off the boat immediately, because you will hate every minute of it because it never lets up. But at the same time, it does have a decently well-told story of Masamune and Sagiri trying to connect as brother and sister, because they have not connected due to Sagiri mainly being a recluse who never leaves her room, who only knocks to get some meals from her brother. You know, those people who just never go to school, never go to work, and just stay in all day. Sagiri is essentially that. Whereas Masamune has to provide for the family, cook her meals, and all that jazz. I can't say I really identify with Masamune, because when I was 15, I just sort of went to high school and did a few clubs, and that's it. I didn't need to provide for a family, but in my opinion, Masamune is a decent main character. He's not very interesting, but at the very least, he does seem relatable for a guy that's in a crazy situation like this. Now, Sagiri is a character you're going to love or hate. You might hate her for being incredibly whiny and for being a total pervert, but at the same time, you might find her funny for those same reasons. Personally, for me, it was half and half. I found her funny at times, annoying at other times, but I think the show overall benefited from her presence. But the real stars in the anime, in my opinion, are a few of the light novel authors that Masamune works with, and some who end up as part of Sagiri's antics. My favorite being Elf Yamada, who's voiced by someone Takahashi, I don't know. Anyways, she's actually really, really funny. Even though you might wonder why she has those little things in her ears that make her look like an actual elf, she does provide a lot of good comedy in the series, mainly due to her tsundere antics, and due to her having longing affections for Masamune. There's another light novel author named Muramasa who comes in, who seems more like a samurai than a light novel author. She takes a little longer to like, but she's pretty likable as well. In fact, the whole cast is full of fairly likable characters. The problem is that when it comes to the subject matter of the series, it's one that you're either going to love or you're going to hate it. Because I understand why this type of anime is hard to swallow for some people. As Japan's laws of how sex is used and America's laws of how sexual content is used, they're very different, honestly. And also, I would never want to be seen watching the show in public unless I want to get someone calling the police. But at the same time, it's somewhat. I think of this anime the same way that anime reviewer named Giguk thinks of it. It's total trash, but at the same time it's very entertaining trash. It transcends the realms of trash into becoming something that is so lewd and so lowbrow to the point where you can't help but laugh at it. Though I do laugh at it sometimes rather than laugh with it, but the humor mainly comes from the ridiculousness of the scenarios rather than actual good writing, because the characters, while decent, are fairly two-dimensional, and the animation, while good from A1 Pictures, is just sort of good but not amazing animation. So overall, it just comes down to whether or not you're going to find the humor enjoyable or not. Do you like humor that just goes no bounds and just tries as hard as possible to get a reaction out of you? Or do you think the sexual content involving girls who are nowhere near 18 is too much for you? For me, it was sort of half and half, to the point where I could agree with both sides. Eromanga-Sensei isn't one of the best series of the season, not even close in my opinion, but it's a fun series if you're able to overlook some of those things that might be hard to overlook. I give Eromanga-Sensei a 7 out of 10. See you next time.